Hey, what are you preaching about this week? What about next week? Or the week after that? Or the week after that? And then the week after that one? Do you really know? If you preach once a week, that is a ton of new sermon content that you are creating each year. And some of you are preaching even more than that, and some of you are preaching a little bit less. But either way, it is a huge weight and responsibility to have to continually prepare one sermon after another. And this is why I firmly believe that every pastor needs a sermon calendar. Now, I don't care if you're a senior pastor or a youth pastor or even a Sunday school teacher. If you are charged with the holy responsibility of teaching the Word of God to the people of God, you need to be organized and prepared with a plan for the weeks and the months ahead. So here's 3 reasons that every pastor needs a sermon calendar. Number 1, you'll have better sermons. Planning and preparation just make for better preaching. In fact, I believe in the 5 P's of preaching, which is proper preparation prevents poor preaching. All right? Proper preparation prevents poor preaching. When you have a sermon calendar, you're planning things out in advance, you're thinking about things in advance, and you are doing your job to make sure that you are prepared long before the sermon. Now, number 2 is less stress. Knowing what you are preaching in advance takes this massive weight just off of your shoulders. It is such a burden to week after week feel like you have to come up with another new message. When you have it mapped out and you have a roadmap and you know where you're going, every Monday when you get back to your office and you sit down to prepare your sermon for the next weekend, you know where you're headed. You know what direction you're pointing. You're not frantically searching, trying to figure out what's next. You got a plan. So you'll have a whole lot of stress off your shoulders. Trust me, getting planned in advance really helps. And number 3 is greater teamwork. Your team, if you have one, is going to be able to help you out more. They can work better when they know what to expect from you. What graphics do they need to make? What songs are going to fit with your message? They'll know in advance what you're going to be preaching about so that they can prepare. They can help plan the services. They can help plan all the other things that go around what you are preaching on. And if they know in advance, they'll have a lot more time to prepare and do their best work rather than scrambling every last second because you haven't finished your message and the week's almost over. So get your 2022 sermon calendar ready. You could spend valuable time making your own calendar, or you could save a lot of time and just use the one that I've created. I spent hours making this spreadsheet and a printable PDF calendar planner for you. So if you want to check mine out, here's what you get. You get a beautiful customizable Excel spreadsheet that can be opened in Excel, Numbers, Google Sheets, or whatever you use for spreadsheets. Also, you're going to get an alternative PDF version that you can print out and you can write on if that's more of your creative style. You could even save it on your iPad and mark it up with your Apple Pencil, whatever, however you like to work. You'll also get file options to include United States holidays or no holidays at all if you don't want them on there. And you get a full 100% money back guarantee. So if you aren't satisfied in any way, for any reason, just let me know. We'll get it back to you. Now, if that's not enough and you need a little bit more help, I do have some other resources that I have for you that I don't always talk about. I actually have 2 books on preaching that I've written and even a preaching course called Best Preaching Year that's going to help you get months ahead on your sermon planning. It's going to include the sermon calendar and it's going to help you learn my 7-step sermon prep process. Now, don't let this year be like other years where you're stressed out week to week about your next sermon. It's time to get organized. And if you need some tools, get mine at propreacher.com/store. Or if you don't like what I have, that's fine. Go get something else that works for you. I don't care. I just want you to get started and I want to help you preach better, however that is. Look, the call is too high and the work too important for you to put this off any longer. It's time for you to get your preaching organized and unleash the freedom and the creativity that comes when you have your sermons planned out in advance.